Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another Minecraft Java video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Sodium Extra mod for Minecraft Java Edition version 1.17.1, and this is an add-on for the Sodium mod for Minecraft Java Edition 1.17.1. In my previous video I did show you how to download and install Sodium for Minecraft version 1.17.1, and today I'm going to show you guys how to download and install Sodium for version 1.17.1, as well as how to download and install the Sodium Extra mod for Minecraft Java Edition version 1.17.1. I'm going to show you guys how to install both of those mods using the Fabric mod loader, which is a really cool alternative to Forge. And I'm going to show you guys how to download and install Fabric for Minecraft Java Edition 1.17.1. And I'm also going to show you guys how to download and install Iris shaders, because Iris shaders does actually come bundled with Sodium and Fabric in one mod. So I'm going to show you guys how to download and install Sodium and Sodium Extra for Fabric version 1.17.1, and also how to download and install Sodium and the Sodium Extra add-on for Iris shaders as well. And this is going to be important because you guys can then play with mods and shaders and enjoy Sodium and Sodium Extra at the same time. And for those of you who are not interested in shaders, you just want to go for the performance, then we can just use the Sodium and Sodium Extra with Fabric for version 1.17.1. For those of you who don't know, Sodium is actually a performance boosting mod for Minecraft Java Edition, and it can really improve your performance. It can boost your FPS, your frames per second in the game. And the latest release, which we've got at the moment, which is version 1.17.1, I know some of you guys have been having issues with lower frame rates, and by using Sodium we can actually get our frame rates higher. And on my PC I have been able to double the FPS I was getting on the vanilla game. So in my vanilla game of Minecraft Java Edition 1.17.1, I was getting close to 300 to 400 FPS. And if you guys have a look at the top right corner of my screen there, and on the top left corner of my screen there, I am getting close to about 1000 FPS. And I've basically doubled the FPS just by using Sodium mod for Minecraft 1.17.1. And it's that cool. So for some of you who are getting on the lower side of the FPS on your Minecraft Java Edition 1.17.1, you can actually just use Sodium and the Sodium Extra mod to enhance and boost your performance FPS in the game. So Sodium by default does increase the performance in our Minecraft Java game, and the Sodium Extra mod basically gives us extra features which we can turn on or off and give us more performance boosts. So let me first of all show you guys what I actually mean by the performance and what Sodium Extra is all about. So at the moment, as you guys can see, as I mentioned earlier, I do have fraps running on the top right corner there of my screen, and I've enabled that alongside the FPS counter on the left, which is actually part of Sodium Extra. So I've done that because I wanted to see if they're both the same, and as you guys can see, they're pretty much the same figure there. So Sodium Extra is able to tell me what the FPS is, and it basically matches with the fraps. So let's go into our options first of all, and then I'm going to click on video settings. As you guys can see, my screen actually looks slightly different. So any of you who have used Sodium or downloaded Sodium for 1.17.1 and watched my previous video where I showed you how to download and install Sodium for 1.17.1, you will see that the layout here in the video settings is slightly different. So we can see we've got the general section here, we've got quality, and we've got advanced, which is what we would see with Sodium. And then we've got the shader pack section here, which is what we would see with Iris shaders. Now, after we install Sodium Extra, it will unlock these extra options for us. So I can click on animations, I can play around with these settings. I've got particles, I can play around with these settings. I can enable or disable these various settings here. We've got details, we've got render, and we've got extras as well. So it's really good. I really think you guys should definitely check out Sodium Extra if you guys are using Sodium to boost your performance, because we can get all these extra options and then we can enable or disable them to give us a further performance boost. So let me go back into the game. So let's just get a average. So let's just choose 1000 FPS as my average FPS just by looking at what's happening on the screen at the moment. and I'm going to go back into the options, click on video settings, and the first tweak I'm actually going to do is actually based in Sodium itself, where I'm going to turn my render distance to 8. And as you guys can see, the performance impact for render distance is actually one of the highest in the game. So if you guys are playing with a higher render distance, you are going to see a hit on the FPS. So for those of you who are looking for a tweak to get more FPS, I would recommend lowering this render distance. So I'm going to put mine to 8, and I'm going to turn off the clouds as well. I'm going to leave everything else as it is. GUI scale I'm going to leave as auto. I'm going to leave full screen to off so you guys can see the version I'm playing at the moment. You guys obviously can play in full screen. I'm going to turn off VSync because I do get high FPS on my system and I want to see what the FPS difference is. You can turn on VSync if you want a more smoother experience as well. But for the sake of this video and the demo I'm showing you guys today, I've turned off the VSync. And obviously we want max frame rate to be unlimited. So you guys actually can play around with this and choose whatever frame rate you want, but I've selected unlimited. I'm going to leave these two things as they are. I'm going to go into quality next, and I'm going to tone down some of these settings as well. So for graphics, I'm going to put this to fast. Clouds quality, I'm also going to put to fast as well. Weather quality, I'm going to set that to fast. Particle quality, I'm going to set that to minimal. And smooth lighting, as you guys can see, the performance impact is low, so I'm just going to leave that as it is. The biome blend, I'm probably going to put that as 0. Obviously, you guys can set that to 2 or 4, but I'm just going to set that to 0. And then entity distance, I'm going to put that to 50%. And I'm going to turn off the entity shadows and the vignette as well. Map levels as well. As you guys can see, the performance impact there is showing as medium. I'm going to set that to 0. So I've just gone ahead and tweaked these settings as well and try to give me a further boost. So I'm probably going to leave all of these ticked and this bottom one here unticked as the default. I'm now going to move on to the Sodium Extra settings, and I'm going to click on animations now. I'm going to disable all of the animations because we want to get as much FPS as possible. So the aim of today's video is to get as higher FPS as possible, and this is to help any of you guys who are getting really low FPS when playing Minecraft. So hopefully with these settings you can get a higher frames per second FPS performance in your game. So I'm going to disable animations. I'm going to next click on particles, and I'm going to disable particles as well. I'm going to click on details, and I'm going to disable rain and snow, biome colors, and sky colors as well. So I'm going to disable all of that. I'm going to click on render, and fog I'm going to leave as default. I'm going to untick the light updates, and I'm basically going to untick all of these. These are the item frames, armor stands, paintings, and the piston animations. Depending on what you guys want or what you guys like to see in the game, you can just leave them on, but for today's purpose, I'm going to disable everything there. And then we're going to finally click on extras, and we want the FPS to show on the top left there, and I'm going to leave the coordinates to show as well. And I'm going to leave everything else as it is. I'm not going to change anything here. And you can go ahead and actually tick this box, which prevents any types of shaders from loading. So if you guys are using shaders, you can actually disable them from here. And I'm going to leave everything as it is in the extra section. So just to recap, in the general section, these are my settings, and you guys can go ahead and use them on your computer and try them out. Obviously, you can mess around with them and see whatever setting works for you and what's the best setting for your PC, laptop, or device. And this is my quality settings, and these are the advanced settings where I've actually left everything ticked and this one unticked. And then animations I've turned off, particles I've turned off as well, and details I've turned all of them off. And then the render I've turned off as well. All right, so I'm now going to hit apply. And as you guys can see, it's now applied these settings. I'm going to click on close, and I'm going to go back into the game. So as you guys can see, I'm now getting close to 1,500 FPS in my game now. So basically now I'm getting close to 5 times the FPS that I was getting in vanilla. So if I was getting 300 FPS in my vanilla game, I'm getting close to 1,500, 1,500 FPS in my game. Let's just quickly go over to the water because we did disable the animation. So you guys can see that the water is not running and the water animation is disabled. So if you guys are looking to achieve a higher boost, a higher FPS boost, and get more frames per second, more FPS in your Minecraft Java game 1.17.1, there is another option which you can do, which I showed you just now, and you can disable all of those animations and other stuff as well. And as you guys can see, the game actually looks fine. For me, I think the main thing and the important thing is to get a smoother gameplay. And if you guys are running on lower end PCs or lower end devices, then I think it's important to get a nice gaming experience by having smoother gameplay compared to having better looking graphics. So in the long run, I think having improved gameplay is always going to be better than having better graphics in your game. So always try to aim for a better performance in your game if you are running a lower end PC, laptop, or a device. And as you guys can see, I was able to achieve some higher FPS just by doing those tweaks, and it's all thanks to downloading and installing Sodium Extra for Minecraft Java Edition 1.17.1. So now I'm going to show you guys how to download and install Sodium, how to download and install Sodium Extra, and how to also download and install Fabric, which is the mod loader, and finally how to download and install Iris shaders and apply Sodium and Sodium Extra to Fabric and Iris shaders as well for our Minecraft Java Edition 1.17.1, because this is going to allow us to get that extra boost, extra performance boost that we require. Alright, so the very first thing I'm going to do, as I do mention in my previous videos, is to actually make sure that we are running the latest version of Java. So I'm going to go into my internet browser and I'm just going to start typing in Java JDK16, because that is the latest release of the Java JDK file. I'm going to click on the oracle.com link, and I will leave a link in the description for all of the files and downloads I'm going to show you guys today. So just scroll down here, and because I'm on a Windows machine, I'm going to click on the Windows x64 installer. I'm going to click on this file over here, which is the JDK 16.0.2 Windows installer. And I'm going to tick this box, and I'm going to wait for the download to start and then finish, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so as you guys can see, it has finished downloading the Java JDK 16.0.2 file. I'm going to close this down, and the next file I'm going to download is Fabric. So in your search bar, just type in fabricmc.net, and this is the main website to download Fabric. Obviously, there will be a link in the description to go to this website, and then we need to click on Use over here. So this is going to take us to the download section, and in here we've got two options. We can either click on the jar installer or we can click on the Windows installer. So let's go ahead and download both of them actually, so I can show you guys how to install both. So if you guys do prefer to use the Windows installer, you can do that, or if you guys prefer to use the jar installer, we can do that as well. We're also going to download the Fabric API file. So as you guys can see, it says over here, most mods will also require you to install Fabric API into the mods folder. So let's click on this Fabric API link here. It's going to take us to the curseforge.com website, and I'm going to click on download to start the download for Fabric API as well. So let's wait for that to start up and finish. Alright, so as you guys can see, it has finished downloading the Fabric API file as well. Okay, so the next file I'm actually going to download now is Iris shaders. So in your search bar, just type in Minecraft Iris shaders and go to the link which is irisshaders.net. This is the main website, and then click on download now and download the Universal Jar Iris installer. And let's just wait for that to finish downloading. And as you guys can see, that has actually finished downloading. It's just doing some checks. Alright, so the next file we're going to download is Sodium, and the link we need to go to is this one. So I will leave a link in the description so you guys can click on this link to download Sodium version 0.3.0 for Minecraft version 1.17.1. And if we just scroll down, we can actually see there's a file here. It's a jar file, and it says Sodium Fabric MC 1.17.1-0.3.0 plus build 5.jar. So let's click on this file and let's start the actual download. I'm going to keep this file. Alright, so as you guys can see, that has finished the Sodium download for 1.17.1. Okay, so the next file we're going to download is actually the Sodium Extra mod. So in your search bar, just type in Minecraft Sodium Extra, and the link we need to click on is this one, which is the curseforge.com link. So let's click on that. So you should get this web page which says Sodium Extra, and it should say game version 1.17.1. So let's click on download to download the latest version of Sodium Extra. So let's wait for that to finish the download. Okay, so it has finished the download now, as you guys can see. And what I'm going to do now, guys, I'm going to place all of these files on my desktop, and I'm going to show you guys how to actually start the installation and get everything set up so you can have Sodium and Sodium Extra running for your Minecraft Java game version 1.17.1. Alright, so I've placed all of the files on my desktop. The first file I'm actually going to run and install is the Java JDK installer, so I can get the latest version of Java installed on my system. So let me double click on this file to open it. Alright, so as you guys can see, it is giving me a message which says this software has already been installed on your computer. Would you like to reinstall it? I'm going to select yes, and I'm just going to click on next in the whole installation process to go for the default options and then wait for that to finish. Alright, so as you guys can see, it now says Java has been successfully installed. I'm going to click on close. I'm going to move this Java JDK file over here. Now we can actually go ahead and start the installations for all of the Java installers because we have installed Java now. So let's go ahead and actually start the installation for Fabric. Alright, so now we can right click on Fabric, select open with, and then I can choose Java Platform SE binary. And because we've got Java installed, it's going to open up the Fabric installer, the jar file. So as you guys can see, it says Minecraft version 1.17.1, loader version 0.11.6. It's got the default installation directory there, create profile, yes, and then I'm going to click on install and it's done. So it's installed the Fabric loader for 1.17.1. I'm going to close this down now. And if we were to double click on the Fabric Windows installer, it should open up the same thing. So if you guys are having problems running the jar file, you can go ahead and use the Windows installer as well. So let's move these two files out of the way now. Okay, so now you guys have a option. So if you guys want to use shaders and you guys want to use Sodium and Sodium Extra with Iris as well and get your mods and shaders running at the same time, so what we need to do now is actually right click on the Iris installer, go to open with, again select Java Platform SE binary and wait for that to open up the Iris installer. And basically we can now select the edition, which is Iris and Sodium, select game version, which is 1.17.1, select install directory, so this is going to be the default Minecraft directory, and this is the next important step. We're going to tick this box which says install as a Fabric mod because we can now install other mods as well. If you were to leave this unticked, it would only install the Iris shaders and Sodium and you would not be able to run the extra mods. So make sure that you do tick this and make sure it says install as Fabric mod and that is ticked. So click on install. Alright, so as you guys can see, it now says installation succeeded. So we can now close this down and we can move this file out of the way. Okay, and now the next thing we need to do is actually move these files, the jar files, into the mods folder. So let's go ahead and open up our installer. Let's go ahead and launch the Minecraft default launcher. Let's wait for that to load up now. Alright, so now you guys can see on the bottom left here it does say Fabric Loader. So we know that the Fabric Loader has been installed. And if we go to the installation section here, what you will notice is that I've actually got two Fabric Loaders showing. So one of them is the default Fabric Loader, and the other one is the Fabric Loader that came with the Iris shaders. Personally, I would recommend you guys just download the Iris shaders install file because that comes combined and bundled with Sodium and the Fabric as well, and then just install it as a Fabric mod, and then you should get one of these installations there. If you guys don't want to do that, you can obviously just go down the default route and just install Fabric on its own. So just hover over any one of these files over here, any one of these installations, and click on the folder icon over here. And this should open up your default Minecraft directory. Now close down the launcher in the back there, and once you're in the default Minecraft directory, if you look for a folder that says mods, if you don't have this folder, you should right click and click on new, click on folder and create this folder and call it mods. But you should have this folder that says mods because when we go inside it, you should have this file if you installed Iris. If you only installed Fabric, then you might not have this file inside it. So then you would have to right click, create a new folder and rename it to mods. So let's go inside this file, and now I can actually copy these files. So I'm going to copy the Fabric API jar file into this folder. I'm then going to copy the Sodium for Fabric version 1.17.1 into this mods folder, and then I'm finally going to copy the Sodium Extra jar file into this folder. Alright, now one thing to note is that if you guys want to use iris shaders with Sodium Extra, then you will have to delete the Sodium file because this iris MC file will already have the Sodium loaded with it. So if you guys want to use shaders and mods at the same time, then move this Sodium Fabric MC file 1.17.1 out of this folder. But if you guys don't want to use shaders and you want to only use mods, then keep this Sodium Fabric MC file here, but then move the Iris MC file out of this folder. So for this example, I'm actually going to remove the Sodium Fabric MC 1.17.1 file out of this folder. I'm going to place the Iris one back. So your mods directory should look something like this. And now basically we've got Fabric API, we've got Sodium Extra, and we've got the Iris MC 1.17.1 file. And this is going to allow us to actually play the game with shaders and mods, have Fabric and Sodium Extra installed all at the same time. So this is just an option I'm showing you guys. You guys have got two options. You can either choose to actually play the game with just Fabric installed, or you can choose to play it with Iris shaders installed as well, which will give you future compatibility with shaders and the options to play with shaders if you choose to do so. Okay, let's close this down, and now we can finally open up the Minecraft launcher. Let's just wait for this to load up. Alright, so if we go to the installation section, obviously you can go ahead and run either one of these two installations. Obviously, you guys will only just install the one installation because I have just shown you guys two different options and two different scenarios. That's why I've got two different Fabric loaders over here. But for you guys, you will either choose to go with Fabric and mods, or you will choose to go with Iris shaders and install it as a Fabric mod. So you will only have the one Fabric loader. Okay, so I'm going to click on play, and let's wait for the game to now launch. Alright, so as you guys can see now, it has loaded up Minecraft version 1.17.1. Let's maximize that. And we can now go into our options screen, we can go into video settings, and we can see that Sodium has been installed because we are seeing a different layout to what we would normally see if we were to go into the video settings. And we know also that Sodium Extra has been installed for 1.17.1 because we are seeing animations, particles, details, render, and extras here, and it's got all of the options which I selected. And we also have this shader pack section here, and as you guys can see, I already have some shaders installed and I can enable or disable them. But for you guys, if you are looking for pure performance, then you would not need to bother with installing shaders. We would only be focused on actually tweaking the settings here to get as much FPS as possible. So I've just basically shown you guys an extra option if you guys in the future do decide to install shaders if you wanted to do that. So now we can actually go back and load up into a world. So I'm going to create a new world to show you guys that this is actually working. Let me just open up Fraps as well. So you can see at the top right there, I do have the FPS counter. And on the top left there, it should also have a FPS counter that Sodium Extra will enable. It does take a while for this to load up, but as you guys can see, it has picked up, and now I am getting the 900 or close to 1000 FPS there. And obviously, the more detail you have on screen, the lower the FPS will be. So as you guys can see, I have got a bit of animation here going on from other NPCs and other stuff happening here. So the FPS has lowered. So chances are that you guys will see a lower FPS if you are in a populated area. But if you are in a different biome with not that much stuff going on, you will obviously see higher FPS. And as you guys can see, the FPS I'm getting is very playable. And obviously on my system, I am getting close to 1000 FPS here. But on your systems, if you are getting 30 FPS in your vanilla game, then definitely check out Sodium and Sodium Extra for Minecraft Java Edition 1.17.1. And it should give you that extra boost in performance, give you that extra FPS boost as well, and you should be able to have a much more enjoyable experience in playing Minecraft Java Edition version 1.17.1. Another thing to note is that you can actually download another mod, which I'll just quickly show you guys what it does. If we go back into our main menu, there isn't a mods button here. With Fabric, when you do install Fabric, it's missing the mods button, so you can't actually see any mods that you've installed. You have to go to the mods folder. So let's quit out of this first of all. Let's go back into our internet browser and just type in Minecraft mod menu and go to the curseforge.com link and then click on download over here. So as you guys can see, it says mod menu, mods for version 1.17.1. So just download this additional mod as well. This is going to enable the mods button for us and allow us to see that button and see what mods we've got. Let's keep this file. I'm going to move this file into my mods folder. Alright, so I put mod menu jar file on my desktop. I'm going to open up Minecraft Launcher. And again, similar to what I showed you guys before, I'm going to go into the installation section, click on the folder icon over here. I'm going to close this down. I'm going to go back into the mods directory and copy over mod menu. And as you guys can see, I've now got mod menu jar file in the mod section. So by the end of this tutorial, your mods folder should look something like this with these files in the mods folder. Let's close this down. Now let's go back into our Minecraft game and click on installations similar to what I showed you, and then just launch the fabric loader what we installed earlier. And now in the main menu, we should get a button which says mods. So let's wait for the game to now load up. Alright, so as you guys can see, the game has loaded up. Let's maximize this, and we now have a button here that says mods. I can click on this mods button and I can go into this. So we can now see what mods I've actually got installed. And if we click on this filter icon, if you click on libraries, and it might be hidden, so make sure that libraries is showing. And we can now see that I've got Fabric API, I've got Fabric Loader, I've got Iris, this is the shaders mod. It's showing the Minecraft base game. It's also showing the Minecraft mod menu. And I've also got Sodium. If I click this down arrow here, it will drop it down, and you can see within Sodium it's showing me Reese's Sodium options and Sodium Extra, which is the mod we have been discussing today. So we do know that Sodium and Sodium Extra has been installed. So any of you guys who have installed mods with Fabric and are worried if the mods are working or not, you can go ahead and just install mod menu and it will show the mods in this section. So hopefully you guys have found this video useful. If you have, please do give us a like. And obviously, if you guys have any comments or queries about using Fabric or Sodium Extra or Iris shaders or any other queries, then do leave them in the comment section below. If Sodium Extra has helped you guys achieve higher FPS, then do let us know of your success. Or if you've got any other problems, if you're still getting lower FPS, then do let me know in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to try and help you guys out. And hopefully by watching this tutorial, you guys should now know how to download and install and get Sodium for Minecraft Java Edition version 1.17.1, and also how to get, download and install Sodium Extra mod for Minecraft Java Edition version 1.17.1. Please also subscribe to this channel to help support it, help it grow, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.